I've been meaning to do an introduction to the channel as to why I've done it, what I'm planning to do with it. We started last year, 2023 Christmas, where sitting down with my two boys, Arlo and Jean, and we're talking about adventure and things that we do, and we realised that life's travelling particularly fast, and we wanted to do a few more cool things. Jean, my eldest, he turned 14 Boxing Day last year, and I suddenly realised that within a couple of years he's going to be on a moped out and about. He's not going to want to spend sort of time with me quite as much. And all these things I've been planning to do over the years, and I never got a chance to do them, and I've just been too busy. I run my own business, my wife does the same, and so we're like, right, let's do something. Let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's make some adventures. I've known what I've always wanted to do, and sort of like do a bit of overlanding. So I did what any sensible, sane human being would do, would be to look for something reliable. So I bought one of these. This is a 2008 Range Rover autobiography, L322. It's the supercharged 4.2 litre V8 petrol. I looked at various different L322s, and there's plenty of people that talk about them, plenty of channels. Some really good ones actually, and they've been incredibly helpful. The bones of the car's got to be good. So that is basically the rust. They are a bit notorious for rust. And engine and gearbox. They've got quite a reputation of unreliability. Whether I think it's well deserved, I don't really know. However, parts are cheap. You know, I've had a Porsche Cayenne twin turbo before this. Everything was expensive. So having this and looking at parts and cost, and it really isn't as bad to repair if you need to. So I looked for the engine that I wanted, which is the 4.2 supercharged. Didn't really want a high mileage diesel, so you start having problems with EGR valves and DPF filters, and they're twin turbo as well, so it's just slightly more complicated. So this is a bit more basic. It's got the supercharger, but it is slightly more basic. And I thought I'd give that a go and see how that worked out for us. So I found one. So this came from South Wales, for a dealership there, and they are incredibly cheap. People don't want to buy them, so it's a buyer's market. But finding one with the engine that I wanted, in the condition that I wanted, in the colour I wanted, being picky about it, wasn't easy, but this was the only one in the spec that I wanted, and it happened to be one of the cheapest around. So I was quite lucky in that sense. So this cost me £5,300, sold as seen, so it's trade sale, so there's no warranty on it, and it had just suffered a leak from the sunroof, quite a common thing with these things, from what I hear. So that had taken down, you can see it, saggy headlining. It had also taken out some of the stereo equipment in the back corner here. You can probably see that panel missing as well. But again, to replace the bits that are broken, one of them was £14, one of them was 60 quid, and the other one was 100 quid. So we're not talking massive amount of money. There's a place in Cardiff, I think it is, that do headlining, drive in, drive out, 250 quid. So I can get back up to scratch pretty quickly. One of the most important things in these things is getting one that hasn't got a lot of rust, but they do suffer a bit of rust around the arches. There's common places. I'm not going to go into all the normal places as you'd expect to find them, but this has had a lot of work done, a lot of paint. There's various places have been repainted, bumpers have been repainted, I'm pretty certain. Arches have been cut out and redone. Still a few little bits of rust knocking about, but overall, around the chassis, well, not the chassis, but the side, the sills, all look pretty good. So for me, it was kind of like good engine, very quiet with regards to tensioners. Only 124,000 miles, full service history. They did an oil service and a brand new MOT when I bought it. So I need to do a few other things as well, just fuel filter, air filter, that kind of stuff to get it fully serviced. It's otherwise a really good car. Our plan is to do some decent long distance trips. We'd quite like to go down to Portugal. I think we've seen a few people actually doing it, not just with L322s, but with various 4x4s going down the Portugal, down the coastal route, going get the ferry across to Bilbao and through Santander and down through, down into Portugal, maybe as far down as Lisbon, don't know, but plenty of places that we can go. That's the plan. I've got the two boys, so Jean and Arla, they're going to come with me. It's not the kind of thing that Joanne, my wife, wants to get involved with too much, which is absolutely fine. So it's an adventure for the boys. So we are, over the coming weeks, going to be converting this. Now I've got it up to scratch, really, get it all working. Once I've finished all the stereo work, we're going to start looking at turning it into an overlander. So we are currently looking at roof tents, roof rack systems, all that kind of stuff. As to whether we're going to go that route, I don't know. What we have found is that there are plenty of people with roof tents and plenty of people taking them off. So rather than going through the process of putting a roof tent on and then deciding we don't want it, I think we're likely to avoid the roof tent and go for one of those quick setup tents, basically. Be fine for us. We're still going to go for the roof rack. There are a few on eBay again. We're not looking to spend tens of thousands on this, but we'd like to get a roof rack, some additional lighting for the front, and then build the back out, maybe with like a Nomad kitchen or something on those lines. We need to look at things like second batteries as well to support the extra bits and pieces we're going to be doing. But that's it. We could spend tens of thousands of pounds, and I do kind of throw myself into projects, a bit known for that. But I want to do a few bits to it first, then go and have some fun with it. So we went out today, our very first off-road bit of driving. I've still got road tyres on it at the minute, but we're looking to get some steels. I've just ordered a single 20-inch by 9-inch steel wheel. And we're going to test to see whether that fits over the Brembos. So the Brembo calipers on this, again, it's a subject I won't be the first person to talk about. The big Brembos, big 6-pot Brembo calipers that you get on the 2010 facelift, they don't fit these steel wheels. However, I have got Brembos, but I've got a 2008 car. Between 2006 and 2010, we had the smaller Brembos. So I checked it this morning. I don't think there'll be a problem. So I'm going to check to see whether they fit. So they're going to send me a wheel. I'm going to check to see what this fits. If it does, I'll order 4 more with Coopers. Again, we've been through lots of different options, and we decided to go for 275 55 20s. Cooper Discoverer 83s Sports. Seemed to be a good choice. There are plenty out there, general grabbers and things like that, and it's a wide subject, but when it comes to tyres, it's the only thing that sort of connects you and the road, so they're pretty important. I'd rather spend that, and then, to be fair, I've also got a Tesla, putting £300 a corner on those. I'm not used to, it's not something I'm not used to spending a ton of money on tyres. So they're actually pretty good. I'm picking tyres up for about just over £200 a tyre, which I think is incredibly good value for money for what they are. So we're going to put the wheels on. We were going to be putting X-Lifter on this, so it's got self-levelling and all that side of things as well, manages the air suspension. But I think because we're going to go for a non-roof tent, we don't really need that. We don't really need to be able to self-level the car, to be fair. So we're just going to go for, I think they call them Rhino bars or something like that. So the lift kit, 2.5-inch lift kit. There are cheap ones around, but again, I don't really want to cheap out on everything. So we'll probably spend 80 odd quid on getting these. They look like anodised aluminium lifter kits, which basically trick the car into thinking it's lower than it is, and it raises it up. So the tyres are, I think they're roughly 32, 33 inches in diameter. So that extra lift permanently will be fine. But we did go out a little bit off-road today, up around Devizes here in Wiltshire, and it was incredibly good. It's pretty muddy, probably a slightly naive thing to do, to take the boys out doing it, but it worked very, very well. We had hill descent control working, mud ruts, all that kind of stuff, and it was terrific fun. It was only an hour or so, a bit of off-roading, but it was great fun, and the boys have just as much fun cleaning all the mud off afterwards, which is wonderful because that means I don't have to do it. So that's what we've got so far. The reason that we've decided to create Dadulthood is to spend time with the boys, show them how to do stuff, all those little tasks that get passed down. But I wanted to create a channel which is about spending time with my boys. Appreciate they're not here now. That's because this bit I think I wanted to do on my own. But they will be with me working on the car. We've done a bit of work on our Audi TT as well, which Arlo was helping me with. We had a problem with a door lock being fixed. That's already up on the channel. But we're going to be doing bits of work to all the cars. I've been working on cars all my life, motorbikes and things like that as well. So it's a chance to spend some time with the boys, some quality time, record the moments, go on some adventures and have some fun. In the meantime, I'm going to do a bit of a show around the car, and I'll show you what we've got. And we'll go on some adventures, and we'll start working on the car in the next episode. So this is the L322, 2008, 4.2 supercharged autobiography. It's in a startlingly good condition. Doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with it, of course, as it is with these things. But it had everything that I wanted. It was black, it was the autobiography, which was really important. Well, to be fair, the engine was the most important thing, but this was the right spec, everything that I wanted, right gearbox, right engine. But it is a beautiful car. I have to admit, it is a beautiful car. So it's in good shape. Again, it's got everything that we wanted. Because of the autobiography, it's got really nice interior. I have to admit, it is top class. This thing was new, it must have cost a fortune. It's got heated and ventilated seats, all that kind of stuff, all the good stuff. So we will be changing the sagging headlining, but for the time being, not too fussed about it. But it's incredibly good shape. Sounds amazing. But yeah, tons of room. We've got the split seats, so this seat we're going to be pulling down probably permanently, building into the kitchen, leaving a double seat at the back there, so it's still a four-seater when we do end up using it as a normal car. Now these things are not. The boots aren't actually that massive. Well, they're not tiny. But if you wanted to go serious, like off-roading and whatnot, massive adventures, there are bigger ones out there, but it's decent size. So I've seen several people build these things into overlanders and build kitchens and fridges and fridge sliders and whatnot on the left. So that's what we're going to be doing. Otherwise, she's in good shape. We've done all the things, the little bits and pieces which we were going to film, got too excited and completely forgot we were going to film. We've changed over the grille at the front, black Range Rover, so the black grille. Everything else was the same there. We did do the black side vents and the black side repeaters. We replaced the door cappings. So these already had door handle covers anyway in black, but they were really scratched up and somebody tried painting them. I think they didn't realise that they were actually covers. So we just took them off, put some new ones on, and it's like new. And then again on the back we've changed it so we've got the black Range Rover as well. And that looks pretty nice. So the next time you see it on the channel, hopefully we'll be doing a few bits and pieces to it. The next thing I think we'll be doing the wheels, changing them out. Changing the wheels out, putting in 20-inch by 9-inch on 33s, 33-inch tyres. So maybe do the lift kit next. But as you can see, it's had plenty of paint in the past. I don't know if you can see it from this angle, but this has all been repainted. There's actually a drip here. But to be fair, I didn't buy it to be a show car. I bought it to be a car that we weren't afraid to get a bit scratched, maybe a bit dented, all that kind of stuff. I don't deliberately treat it poorly, but I wanted to have a car that was cheap enough that I wasn't worried about damaging it. And at £5,300, with a couple £100 fixing it up and getting it perfect, with regards to, well, not perfect, getting the stereo working, I'm fine with that. And then I imagine we're going to probably end up spending about the same again, I think, converting it into an overlander. So I'm going to do the important thing. I'm going to do the important things first, so wheels and tyres. I've seen the rock sliders on the side you can get for the L322s. They look quite cool, I have to admit. I can imagine shinning myself on it several times. So I may or may not get those. I don't think they're going to be necessary straight away, I have to admit. I might speak to the chap on Overlanding 4x4 and see whether he really uses them or has used them. It'd be interesting to see how scratched up they are underneath. And the same as having a sump guard as well. You can have a sump guard on these things. But I'm not going to be rock crawling in this. We're going to be doing, dirt tracks, that kind of stuff, going over the mountains. That's really what we want to be doing in it. So it's pretty capable as it is. We don't need to do a huge amount more to it. Extra lights I think will be useful. I've not driven much on the continent, so I don't know how badly lit places are going to be, but from what I hear from people, it's best to put sort of spots on it. I'm not wanting it to look like something out of Roadhouse. I'm not going to put light bars on everything. I don't think I am anyway. But we'll see. Once I've got the roof rack on, it might be that it's better to have them up high. I don't really know yet. We'll find out. But that's the Range Rover. It has been called Frank. It is Frank the Tank. So we will be doing a few more videos in the coming weeks about Frank the Tank, and we'll keep you all informed as to what's going on with it. Thank you.